Hey guys, Magma here, and today we're back with another brand new video and another brand new DC Rebirth comic review. And I have to say, the button, who is like the greatest thing coming out of DC Rebirth, like the best story arc and crossover in DC Rebirth so far. Like, oh man, nothing's gonna be able to top this, because this is just amazing with the Flash and Batman going in time, and all this crazy stuff is happening, all these questions being raised, and we find out a little bit more stuff about the Watchmen's involvement in here, and we have all our theories and all that. But anyway, the last issue ended off with Batman and Flash pretty much on the cosmic treadmill going through time, and they see these events that they don't remember, like Crisis on Infinite Earths. So there's a bunch of Easter eggs like that. We see old storylines being there, and they don't remember them because they're from the same, because it's from the same Earth. They didn't travel to a different parallel Earth. This is their timeline, and then they managed to crash into the Flashpoint timeline, and then they meet Thomas Wayne Batman. But anyway, recap on the Flashpoint thing, if you don't know what Flashpoint is, because you should definitely read Flashpoint. But just to sum up in short, Flashpoint is the universal timeline that Barry created when he went back in time to save his mother, and that created the worst version of the DC universe possible, because when you do one thing, that makes little changes to everything else, and these changes were massive, okay, because we have, instead of Bruce, instead of Thomas and Martha being shot down and Bruce left there in the alley, it was actually Bruce who got shot, and Thomas Wayne became a Batman who killed people, and Martha became the Joker. Like, just very crazy, messed up thing. And Superman, instead of his, ship crashing in with, with the Kents, he wasn't actually found by the Kents, because his ship actually crashed in a local area, and people thought that was a terrorist attack. So then he was found by the government, and he's been locked up, and he's, super skinny. And a bunch of these other things have happened in the Flashpoint universe, pretty much Aquaman and Wonder Woman at war, which is the main storyline there, them at war. That's kind of the background, what everyone needs to stop. And here we actually, in the beginning of this issue, they showed the aftermath just straight after Flashpoint, because we all assumed that Flashpoint would just be erased. But as we've established, there's this being that is higher than all of us in the DC universe, and that is probably Dr. Manhattan, let's be honest. But yeah, it seems like Dr. Manhattan maintained this Flashpoint timeline, so it's kind of like its own Earth, almost like an alternate thing, because Flashpoint is still going on, because Dr. Manhattan has managed to pretty much hold on to it, because, Dr. Manhattan is pretty much OP, he can do anything, he is pretty much God, and pretty much he's just let this Flashpoint thing go on, where it should be erased, because Barry erased it, but, Dr. Manhattan let it go on. And this is where we see straight out the aftermath of Thomas Wayne lying down, Flash running off, expecting everything to be fine, and expecting him to die and just be erased in the timeline. But no, things go on. We're here a few years later, where the war with Aquaman and Wonder Woman are continuing. Things are basically hell, okay, because Flashpoint, which you should definitely read, because Flashpoint, ooh, I love Flashpoint. I don't know how many times I have to say this, you guys should really read Flashpoint, because Flashpoint, written by Jeff Johns, is amazing, and it was great to see this. But anyway, we see that Aquaman and Wonder Woman are still at war, but this time, for one night, they decided to team up to get rid of one thing that's been an annoyance for both of them, and that is the goddamn Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman. So pretty much they team up, both their armies come to Wayne Manor to fight Batman and take him out. So we see Thomas Wayne just, sitting down. He's pretty much like, Thomas Wayne has lost everything, his wife, his child, which, has taken a mental toll on him, and that's why he's, depressed. Not like Bruce, because he lost his parents, but for Thomas, he lost his son, where he had to see his son being born, and his wife turned crazy in front of him, and then his son gets taken away from him by a bullet. And so then we even hear him talk about how he beat the person who shot his son to death. That's how bad he was beaten. So yeah, that's Joe Chill. That's how he actually recovered the gun, in case you were wondering. Anyway, we see he's waiting for the armies to come in so he can fire him, and we see these panels where they're coming in, both armies showing up. And then this is where we continue straight off of last issue, but this is from a different perspective, because at the end of the last issue in Flash, issue 21, we see the cosmic treadmill crashing into the Flashpoint timeline, which because Dr. Manhattan pretty much maintained that. And here we see Batman and Flash in the Batcave, where Batman's questioning, wait, I remember this cave, well, how is this gun here, and all this. And we see it from Thomas Wayne's perspective. This is where he takes off his cowl to talk to Bruce, because of course these two Batmans, which is this reunion, oh, I've always wanted to see this reunion between Flashpoint Batman and our Earth Batman, because that is just oh my god, the amount of feels here, dude, the feels. But yeah, pretty much they have their reunion, and they talk face to face, because you know, father and son, they don't want to talk to each other as Batman, but instead they want to talk to each other as Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne, which was very cool to see them reunite. Like, Thomas Wayne thinks this is, like, way too good to be true. So what he does, he's all mad, like, no, this is fake, this is a trick, and he even strangles the Flash, but he vibrates his way, you know, out of it, and explains to Thomas Wayne that, oh no, it is not a trick, and then he starts explaining that it's probably Eobard Thawne, maybe, but it's something that's maintaining this timeline together, which is what I've explained earlier in this video, and again, it's probably Dr. Manhattan. So that's a very cool thing that the, you know, Flashpoint universe is returning to the DC universe in this Button story arc. But, you know, if you want to find out, it does not last very long, spoiler alert. But anyway, Flash needs to rebuild the cosmic treadmill to get back, because it crashed and it's broken, so he needs to rebuild it. So, you know, of course, Flash, fastest man alive, he's going to make it quick, but it's going to be like a minute. So we see the two armies coming in, and this is where Batman and Batman need to team up, which is the coolest thing ever, seeing Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne team up to fight some Atlanteans and Themyscirans. And oh my god, this is the team up I've always wanted. Bruce Wayne Batman and Thomas Wayne Batman. It's so cool. And also, they talk about, there's a lot of discussion between them. They don't have enough time to talk because this timeline actually gets erased, but more on that later. They talk about the letter and how, you know, Bruce wanted to respond to it and how Thomas wanted to say more things. But, you know, Thomas says that needs to hold on for now, and then they fight. And then, you know, Flash, we keep on seeing these panels where you see the two Batmans fighting, and then the Flash is like, okay, where's that piece? And we see the Flashes finally finish building it, and then Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne talk again. I pretty much just talk about, do you remember when I found you in the cave and what I told you? And Bruce is saying, barely, because you were with me, because you didn't want to scare the bats. And we see some flashback to that moment, and very emotional here. But again, it's almost like the Flashpoint is actually a different, you know, Earth or universe, because the fact that it's still alive and going, it almost makes it like a different parallel universe. But pretty much, Bruce tells Thomas Wayne Batman that he is a grandfather, because Bruce has a son who is, of course, Damian Wayne. And Thomas, he doesn't even like respond to it. And then the Flash says the cosmic treadmill is ready. So then he gets on Bruce on there and says, no, Thomas, you must come, because this is when, coincidentally, at this moment, very conveniently, the Flashpoint universe is being erased, because whoever, you know, had it, you know, maintained, has now decided to let go, which of course, probably Dr. Manhattan. So then he decides to get, you know, rid of the Flashpoint timeline at this convenient moment, and that's when everything gets erased. Thomas also tells Bruce that he doesn't need to do it for him anymore, and that he can just live a normal life with his son, that he doesn't have to do it for him or Martha. And that's his, like, pretty much last words, or you know, close to his last words to Bruce, which is indeed very haunting. Like, will Bruce stop being Batman? No, he will not, but you know, that's what Bruce is going to think behind his head, that he doesn't have to be Batman anymore, because that's what his father, Thomas, has actually told him. And pretty much they're saying, oh, you know, Dr. Wayne, or, you know, father, please come on the cosmic treadmill with us. And this is what we all want. Come on, we want Thomas Wayne in the main DC universe. Come on, guys. But no, the feels come in when Thomas pushes him onto the cosmic treadmill while everything is being erased, including Wayne Manor and everything in this Flashpoint timeline. And then Thomas tells Flash, you promised me that you saved my son. Now do it, because that's the promise that Flash made Thomas in the original Flashpoint storyline, where he said, you know, if I can go back in time, because, you know, he thought Eobard Thawne did the whole Flashpoint thing. He said, I can save your son by making everything right. So now, you know, he's truly happy now seeing his son and how the Flash is going to save him. And, you know, Batman or Bruce is screaming out saying, let go of me, Barry. Because he wants his father, because this is the time he actually sees his father in person, gets to talk to him. And this is not the letter. And I have to say, after this, Batman and Flash have to be BFFs, because not only did Flash give him the letter, but Flash also made him go into the Flashpoint timeline to have like a 2-minute reunite, you know, reunion with his father. Which, like, come on, Batman, you have to be BFFs now with the Flash, because the Flash is giving you everything you've wanted, apart from maybe a talk with your mother, because, you know, she's kind of crazy. But yeah, pretty much they have to be BFFs now because of the letter, and now this, because the Flash is one hell of a messenger, and now he's brought Batman directly to his father. And now Thomas is happy, says, you've already saved me, son. And then they go away, they just whoosh, go out, and then Thomas Wayne puts his cowl back on, and instead of just waiting for him to just be erased, he goes out and in just fighting. And then while he runs out, we also see a flashback of them talking, you know, Bruce, when he was a kid, you know, he's talking about how winds don't fall but they rise, and he runs off into, you know, whatever he's running off to. He's kind of just running. You know, I guess he's run off to the remaining Atlanteans. He's run off fighting, 2 batarangs in his hand, and then he gets erased from the timeline, which is very sad. You know, give him in the feelsies. But this is pretty much, you know, like this like story arc with so much timeline, this confusion, just wow, mind-boggling stuff. Because like, you know, the Flashpoint timeline returns to the DC universe, but then gets erased straight, you know, from like few pages. You turn a few pages, boom, it is all gone. The Flashpoint timeline is now officially gone, which I thought was gone all the way back in Flashpoint. But no, we get to see it again, and boom, it's just taken straight from us. Which, like, oh my god, this like timeline confusion and all this like Watchmen stuff with the button, and then Reverse Flash, Dr. Manhattan. Well, this is like definitely the coolest story arc in DC Rebirth right now. But anyway, pretty much Flashpoint is gone now. There's nothing to go back to. And then we actually find the Reverse Flash, who actually has the button from Dr. Manhattan. We actually see one panel before that where Bruce is talking, you know, to Barry about, you know, why was it destroyed, and we can actually see the Reverse Flash is actually running behind him. And this is actually before the Reverse Flash died. This is when Reverse Flash picked up the button in, you know, Batman issue 21, where he picked it up, and then boom, he was gone. Then boom, he came back burning. This is when he actually had the button. He was in the Speed Force, and he's telling Barry that he's seeing things again, probably Dr. Manhattan. But yeah, he's seeing, you know, seeing things that are incredible, but they've never seen anything like me. This is, of course, if Reverse Flash keeps on running, he's going to be running into his death, because they're in the time stream, and they found Reverse Flash before he's dead, which was, you know, indeed very cool, because we're going to get more Reverse Flash, and I cannot wait to see what happens next issue. Next issue, like, this is the finale of the button, which is going to be just so crazy. I cannot wait to see what happens Reverse Flash, because they said, because Reverse Flash says, and they've never faced someone like me, which of course, hey, I'm sorry to break it to you, Eobard Farm, but you're gonna be dead, burning, half, you know, pretty much entirely a skeleton, because, you know, Dr. Manhattan, pretty OP. But yeah, this is actually very cool to see Reverse Flash again, because all this timeline and time travel, because the great thing about time travel is you can do anything with time travel. Like, for example, with time travel, they even brought the Flashpoint universe back. You know, Thomas Wayne and, you know, Bruce Wayne got to reunite. Of course, with Flashpoint, you have the whole, you know, time, like, you know, butterfly effect with the whole Flashpoint original storyline, which again is great. Definitely read it. And because of the time travel, we actually go to Reverse Flash moments before his death, so we can actually find out what actually happened to kill Reverse Flash, because of course Reverse Flash is too dead to say anything in, you know, Flash issue 21. But here we can actually find out in person with our own eyes to see what happens to him next issue, and that is going to be definitely cool, and I'm very excited for that. But anyway, this issue actually did not start out with anybody from like the Justice Society or anyone like from DC Rebirth who was like, you know, used to be a superhero but now is like insane or is in like a mental house or Arkham Asylum, which, you know, this actually started out differently with just straight off the aftermath of Flashpoint. But anyway, overall, I'm just loving DC right now. Marvel not so much, because they have like multiple events in the same year. But overall, DC, like, you guys should definitely check out the button. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and share. And if you come across the channel for the first time, why not subscribe, as I make comic book related videos almost every day. But anyway, that's been Magma signing out. Peace.